What do you get when you cross a superhero and an apple? Cider Man. Hey, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel to check out my latest comic book editions. I'm so happy that you've stopped by. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll take this opportunity to do so. Clicking the notification bell informs you when new content is added to the channel. I won't keep you very long today. I have less than 10 books to show you, but some really fun ones. So let's get started. I wanted to start out by showing you the last few books that I picked up from Nubia. This one, complete cover buy. When I saw the cover to Superman Volume 1, number 310, I couldn't resist this. You know I'm a Supergirl fan. I like Superman too, but this cover, it's everything. It gives me everything that I love. It's a nice Garcia Lopez cover. Of course, Kurt Swan is doing the interiors of this issue too. It's the first 35-cent Superman comic book. I love it. I haven't done very well in working on my Adventure Comics run featuring Supergirl here in 2022. I made some progress on it last year, but this year I haven't done so well. I have about 25 issues or so that I need to get, and I need to start looking at that some more and try to add some of those into my collection. Never can go wrong. I always enjoy a nice Bronze Age Superman. Anything with Supergirl in it is definitely a plus for me too, so this issue definitely turned out to be a winner for me. Happy to have this into the collection. I had this saved on my eBay watch list for a while, but Nubia had a sale at one point, and that's when I just decided to pull the trigger on it and add it to the collection. This next book, do you remember the DC Challenge? Were you a reader that took the DC Challenge? I do remember the DC Challenge. I have issues 1 and 2, and then I recently decided to pick up issue number 12, which is the final issue of the 12-issue limited series. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up all of the ones in between or not, or if I'm just going to pick up the ones that Wonder Woman made an appearance in. And Wonder Woman not only makes a cover appearance in this issue, but she's in the story as well. I know there's another issue of the DC Challenge that she's in that I don't have. And I think there's one that she appears on the cover, but she's not actually in the story. So I'll probably at some point pick those up as well. Who knows? I might end up picking up the entire run of it too for the funsies of it. I don't know. But I do have the first 2 issues and now the final issue into my collection. These are some good covers though. The DC Challenge was definitely different, a different type of concept that was ever done before in comic books. You can read into it, online if you're a little bit more curious about it. It wasn't horrible. I don't think it was as fantastic or caught on as much as they hoped it would, but it wasn't horrible either. Artwork definitely was good too. Turning over to Marvel right now, I have the full run of Spider-Woman Volume 1, so I'm kind of working on some of the guest appearances that she made in other titles. And I was surprised when I checked my CLZ app and realized that I didn't have this issue. It's Marvel 2-in-1, Volume 1, number 85, with The Thing and Spider-Woman. It's not the first time that Spider-Woman has appeared in Marvel 2-in-1. I don't know about this cover, though. What do you think about this cover? I'll be curious to see this. First, the characters are way too small. I mean, that's the thing right there. And Spider-Woman, who you could barely even tell is on the cover, is just laying on the ground over here. Too much of the real estate of this cover, I think, is ate up. Not with the stars of the book. And the story was just kind of too. So definitely not my favorite. Luckily it wasn't an expensive book or anything like that. And it's worth it just to have it to check off for my Spider-Woman collection. I need to, do a double check on that list to see how many more guest appearances I need to get. But I have it, so that's a plus, that's a thumbs up, just not my favorite cover. If it's your favorite cover, I'd definitely love to know that in the comment section. And since I was ordering from Nubia, I picked up one of the 2021 free comic book days, Spider-Man and Venom, number 1. Of course, lots of talk about this book last year too. A potential key that, is it still a potential key or not? I don't know. I already had a copy, already actually had a couple copies of this, but I chose to have another one because number one, it's for the funsies of it. And number two, why not, right? Right. So that wrapped up the books that I've ordered from Nucadia recently that I haven't had a chance to show you on my YouTube channel. Nice little freebie, which I do appreciate. I did enjoy Free Comic Book Day 2022 though, which came up last month too. I picked up 3 really good ones that I liked. I got the DC book with Dark Crisis. I got the Super Pets book, which was a lot of fun. And then I got that Red Sonja from Dynamite, which I really enjoyed too. So those were my 3 big pickups for New Comic Book Day 2022. When I was at my LCS, and they don't have back issues, but they do have a section on their wall of warehouse finds. And these are books that they just kind of found in their warehouse, either that they didn't know they had or somehow didn't know they had as many copies of that weren't accounted for whatever reason. And that's the closest we get to back issues. And sometimes I look over that section on there on the wall. And I was looking recently when I went in and I saw this book and I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. I'm like, it's interesting though. So I picked it up and they had a few copies of it. So I started thumbing through it. I went, I'm really interested in this now. And what this was it's Black Bolt, Something Inhuman, This Way Comes, and it was a one-shot. It was done in 2013. And what this is a reprint compilation of the Inhuman stories from Amazing Adventures Volume 2, issue numbers 5 through 10, plus it has Avengers Volume 1, issue number 95, which continued the story from Amazing Adventures number 10. The Black Widow stories aren't in here. They do show the covers, though. Just the Inhuman stories. And this, I'm in the process of reading this right now. I'm about halfway through. I am so glad I picked this up. I am enjoying this. I've never read these stories before. And we have some great Neil Adams artwork here with a Roy Thomas story. And I was so happy that, like I said, didn't even know this existed. And it definitely was something that I am enjoying. I'd love to have the originals from that Amazing Adventures run too. And I'd love to be able to read the Black Widow stories. And that's something I should really work on. I have issue number 1, and then I don't have any more. I think the first 10 issues were divided between Black Widow and the Inhumans. And then I do have issue number 11, First Furry Beast. So that's cool. But happy to be enjoying these stories that I've never read, and the artwork is fantastic, and it's for sure my wheelhouse. So that was a very happy pickup recently at my LCS. Another one I picked up from my LCS. Last month I showed you a 1 in 100 of the Nubia Coronation special, an incentive cover. This is a 1 in 25 that was done for the book that was just released last month. So I don't always show a lot of new issues because I figured most people see them on everyone else's channel as soon as they come out. And I don't buy a lot of new issues. I buy mostly just Wonder Woman related stuff and sometimes some select reprints. But if it's an incentive cover or store exclusive, I try to show that on my channel, which is why I want to take this opportunity to show this right now. It's a nice, beautiful cover too. The story was just kind of okay-ish. I liked the Nubia limited series, the prequel to Trial of the Amazons, a little bit better. Of course, Nubia is getting another limited series now that the Trial of the Amazons is wrapped up and this Coronation special has come out. So she'll have another limited series starting. So I hope that's as enjoyable as the first volume of the limited series was for me. But nice little 1 in 25 incentive cover. Turning my attention now to half-price books. I love that the half-price books that I primarily go to, which isn't far from my LCS, they have started getting a lot of turnover in their inventory, and they've started getting a lot of Bronze Age books. A couple silvers, mostly Bronze Age though, but I'm just seeing each time. For a long time I was going into half-price books and I was just seeing the same books over and over. I knew the inventory forwards and backwards. Now, every time I'm going in, I'm seeing some new stuff having been added. So that's kind of exciting. And this book, so I knew of the Flashpoint, Wonder Woman, and the Furies. I have issue 1 and issue number 2, and I'm like, cool, I got them. And they had issue number 1 and issue number 2. I'm flipping through, and I'm like, yeah, there's number 1, there's number 2, and then all of a sudden there's number 3, and I'm like, number 3? And I looked at my CLZ app, and I'm like, yeah, there are 3 issues, and I'm like, do I have it? And I just, for some reason, didn't check it in my CLZ, which has happened very rarely, but it has happened. And I still haven't actually looked to see if I actually have this and if this is a duplicate for me or not. But for a big whopping $1, I said, I'm just going to pick it up now and worry about that later. So it is number 3, Flashpoint, Wonder Woman, and the Furies. And I definitely know I have that miniseries wrapped up now by picking this up. I was excited to see this one because I remember someone talking to me about this not that long ago. It is the West Coast Avengers Annual, number 2. And in it, we have the West Coast Avengers and the Deceased Avengers. And I haven't read this yet, but it's my understanding that the 2 teams end up fighting. And this ends up continuing in that year's Avengers Annual, which might be number 16, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 15 or 16, but I think it's 16, which I don't have in my collection, and I should pick up. I should pick that up and then read both of those like together in one sitting back to back. That would probably be a smart thing to do. But I got this after I filmed which of course I recently showed you, a video of just Avengers Haul. Otherwise, I would have included it in that video too. Love the West Coast Avengers though. Love them. And one more thing, when I was at Half Price Books, I usually, most of the time, do not go back into the trade paperbacks at this specific location. But last time I went, for whatever reason, I did. And I found this. Now, I knew I was aware of this when it came out in 2019. It's the All-Star Comics hardcover trade back, Only Legends Live Forever. And I love the material that's reprinted in this. And I'll look on the back of the slipcase just so I don't omit anything. It covers All-Star Comics number 58 through 74, DC Comics Special 29, and then the JSA stories from Adventure Comics 461 through 466. I have all of those issues already in single form. And I know I could read them digitally, but there's something about just having it all collected together in this nice hardback that just appealed to me. This issue, of course, also covers the death of the Earth 2 Batman. That book, I believe, is a sleeper comic book. And it's one of my favorites. That's what this cover is based out of, too, is that Adventure Comics issue that featured the death of Batman. So after All-Star Comics picked back up in the Bronze Age, continuing its numbering from the Golden Age. But when they brought it back in the Bronze Age, that's when we got the introduction of Power Girl in that first issue, when it came back in the Bronze Age. So all of that's collected. It went through issue number 74. The title got canceled, but they moved those planned stories for the future into several Adventure Comics stories. The Adventure Comics was at the dollar format at that time and had several different titles appearing in there. And that included the Death of Batman storyline. It's the Earth 2 Batman's death. If you've never read that, I really highly recommend it, just for that beautiful cover that looks like this alone. So a nice little bonus surprise. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think this is it's from the cover of All-Star Comics number, I think it's 69 or 70, but I think it's 69. And I didn't know this. I just kind of peeked underneath the slipcase, the dust jacket. I took it off. We've got a really cool, and you know, with me being a Wonder Woman fan, I just love seeing her front and center there on the actual book itself. There's the back cover to it. So that was pretty awesome as well. I haven't started rereading these yet, but I'm going to. And even though I had all of them in individual form, I just couldn't resist this. This is out of print, and it surprised me that this is out of print already, considering it didn't come out till towards the fall of 2019. But I started looking at eBay and other secondhand sellers, and this book, even used and opened, is selling really high. I'm seeing a lot of it in the $75 to $100 range, which surprised me. I ended up finding that at Half Price Books and got it for $22.50. To me, can't beat that. That's my haul today. What did you think? I'd love to know which one was your favorite. Leave me a comment below. We can dialogue about anything you'd like to. Do you have any of these books in your collection? Are you hunting for any of them? Your comments are always welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. As I said near the beginning, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope that you'll do so right now. And make sure to tune in for another Comic Book Editions video here on my YouTube channel. You made it to the end of this one, which I really appreciate. I know there's so much content out there and so many people are putting out fantastic content. So it's not lost on me that you want to take time out of your day to spend it on my channel. Thank you for doing that and the support that you show me. I'll see you next week. Take care.